In this video, we will continue to explore the relationship between arcs and angles in a circle. Now, the difference between this video and my previous video is that this time around there will be more algebra involved. Okay, let's see. So we are supposed to find x. So I see that the angle is inside the circle. So which one of these formulas am I using? And you can word it the way we always word it. Angle equals arc plus arc divided by 2. Okay?
Oh, wait, I know what you mean.
All right, I'll keep going since Dylan also had the same question. So this is the formula that we use for when we are inside the circle. Arc plus arc divided by 2. Okay? Now, Dylan, looking at this angle right here, pay attention to the arcs that go with this angle. All right? The intercepted arcs are, I'm showing here in green. All right, so we have the red angle and the green arcs, okay? So I'm just going to fill that into the formula. So what's the angle, Dylan? X is one of the arcs. See how the X is green? Yeah, the angle is 102 degrees. So that's why 102 goes here in the front. A lot of times when students are telling me these formulas, they'll just say arc plus arc over 2. But I want you to say angle equals arc plus arc divided by 2 because sometimes you're filling in for the angle and you're finding one of the arcs. And that's what's happening now. So what am I going to put up in the top? What's the arc plus arc part? 141 plus x. Correct. 141 plus x. Now, how do I solve an equation like this? What's my next move? When I have a denominator like this, yeah, so what you want to do is multiply by the 2 on both sides. All right, that way those 2's will cancel each other out. So that'll give us 204 is equal to x plus 141. All right, what's the next step? Subtract 141 from both sides. So that's 63. Okay, so first we have to decide which formula we're using. So JJ, we're outside the circle. So which one of these formulas is the one that applies?
We're going to do big arc minus little arc divided by 2.
Correct. All right, this is the formula that we use for when we are outside the circle. And this means angle equals big arc minus small arc divided by 2. Okay, so let's start with the angle. What's the angle in this picture, JJ?
Well, the angle is 65 degrees.
The angle is 65, so that's why that's going to go in the very front. So we're going to have 65 equals, and then what's the big arc and what's the small arc?
The big arc is 10x plus 4, and the small arc is 3x.
Okay, so 10x plus 4, and then minus 3x. That's big arc minus small arc divided by 2. Now, my recommendation would be go ahead and combine like terms here in the numerator before doing anything else. Do you see the like terms that we can do?
Yeah.
Okay, so what will I have after I combine like terms?
You will have,
What are the like terms, JJ?
you combine the x's and like terms.
Uh-huh. And what will that make?
That'd be 7x.
7.
Negative.
Okay, 7x. So we're going to have 7x. Go on.
Plus 4.
Plus 4.
Divided by
All right. Am I losing anyone? All right. We combine like terms. All right, JJ, what's the next step?
multiply by 2.
Multiply by 2 on both sides. So we'll multiply by 2. That way these 2's will cancel each other out. What's 2 times 65, JJ?
2 times 65 is like
130 maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So 130 is equal to 7x plus 4. So obviously, what are the last 2 steps?
Subtract 4.
Okay, subtract 4. All right, so that gives us 126 is equal to 7x, and then we divide by 7, like you just said. All right, what is 126 divided by 7? 18. All right, so x equals 18. All right. Circle the 2 angles that are related. Well, when we have a quadrilateral inside of a circle, we've learned that opposite angles are supplementary. So we've learned that B and D are related because they add up to 180. They are supplementary. Okay, so that means that 6x minus 28, all right, because that's angle B, plus 4x minus 12, because that's angle D, should equal 180. Now, I put in these parentheses so you could see that one is B and one is D, but the parentheses aren't doing anything other than that. So I'm just going to combine like terms now. So 6x and 4x, that's 10x. Negative 28 and negative 12 is negative 40. And so that equals 180. So when we add 40 to both sides, we're going to get 220. So now I have 10x is equal to 220. When we divide both sides by 10, we find that x equals 22. All right, so there you go, x equals 22. Now we need to do some substitution to find the other angles. So let's see, angle B, we know that angle B is 6x minus 28. So this is angle B is going to be 6, and instead of x, I'm going to go ahead and put 22. So 6 times 22 minus 28. And that's 104. So angle B is 104 degrees. Okay, what about the measure of angle C? Well, angle C is going to be 4 times x. All right, so we're doing angle C now, and that's going to be 4 times 22. So that'll be 88. All right, what about angle D? Well, we already decided that angle B and angle D are supplementary. So since angle B is 104, and now it's going to be supplementary, we're just going to subtract from 180. And that should leave 76 degrees. Okay, Now, angle E. Angle E and angle C are supplementary because they are opposite angles. We already decided that angle C is 88. Okay, so I'm going to put up 180 on this. So these two added up to 180. That's how I got the 76. But angle C and angle E are also 180. They're also supplementary. So I'm going to subtract from 180 again. So 180 minus 88 should give us the answer. So in this problem, first we have to decide which formula applies. Okay, so Rachel, did you have a guess on this? Yes, okay. This angle is on the circle, which means it's the one where the, well, normally we write everything in terms of angle, right? So we usually will say angle is equal to 1/2 the arc. Okay, that's what we're used to. But all of these formulas have the arc kind of by itself, right? So obviously if the angle is half the arc, that means double the angle is equal to the arc. All right, so that's why we're using this formula. The arc is double the angle, right? So that means, and they were nice enough to write out, we can just pick which version of the equation, but we're going to pick the one that says the arc equals 2 times the angle. And here's the arc is 7x. All right, and then the angle is the 4x minus 6. So I'm looking for 2 times 4x minus 6. The arc is double the angle. So that's going to be this equation right here. All right, does that make sense? So now it's just a matter of solving this equation. So I'm just going to recopy it. So I have 7x is equal to, well, let's go ahead and do the distributive property. So that's going to give us 8x minus 12. All right, I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides. So that will give me negative x is equal to negative 12. Or I could have said negative 1. X is equal to negative 12. Because the next thing I need to do is divide both sides by negative 1. So that's going to give me x is equal to 12. Does that make sense? All right. So in that case, so now we want to find the measure of arc FG. And we know that arc FG is the 7x. Okay, so that's just going to be the 7 times 12. So what's that? 84? So that's 84 degrees. And then the measure of angle E, I could plug 12 into this little expression, but we already know that the angle is half the arc. So I can just do 84 divided by 2. So that should be 42 degrees. Okay?